One of the things that excites me a lot about worship is that worship is a personal experience, and yet worship is something that we can come together corporately and experience together personally.
The way I've always considered worship growing up was worship has to be a type of surrender, but it's always a weird type of surrender because surrender is always represents loss, you know? And whenever you see something like even like a battle or something, it always represents loss. But when you worship, it's more so like you're surrendering to your victory, you know? Because I think as a Christian, God is your victory, you know. And so when you surrender to Him, it's like you're surrendering yourself, but in that surrender, you're victorious.
Worship is like it is my lifeline to God, honestly. Like, when I'm worshiping, that's when I feel the most connected. Like, I mean, I pray and I read my Bible, but when I worship, it's like, it's something totally different, because to me, it's like, that's where my heart is in worship, and I feel the most connected.
Worship is I think, in my opinion, the ultimate way to just speak to God, to show God your heart.
I think worship it's a lifestyle. It's how you need to live, and that's kind of what I've been going through all these years, is understanding that worship is not just playing the bass, although it's a way to express your worship, but I think that worship is the way you live for God.
Worship has, for a long time in the church, been something that we pull from outside sources and other worship ministries, and that is a wonderful thing, and it will continue to be like that. However, I have in my spirit the fact that worship is something that also needs to come from within.
Being able to create our own original worship is the whole thing that I love about it, is that we get to take our own hearts and what we have for God and write it down and put together a song where, I mean, literally every time it's different because you're singing it and you know that that's something that God put in your heart.
I used to be in a band with my best friend, and we were playing harder style music and stuff, and I always thought it would be a lot cooler if I can do this, like doing worship, it'd be awesome, and just praying, and out of nowhere HeartReach comes along, and I'm just like, it's almost like it's not almost, it's an answered prayer for me, man. Like, it just shows God's grace for me, dude.
It's been a strong influence in my, just being a musician. I know we've all been playing for a very long time, but just playing with every musician there has really helped me, and that's also helped me, grow spiritually in my worship.
And I think it's really cool that each of us, we don't all go to the same church. We are all based in different churches throughout the area. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, because each one of us brings not just a unique flavor of music to the table, but we each bring a culture of our church to the table.
HeartReach is something that is, in my opinion, is something new. I feel strongly and believe strongly that, this is something God sent, and it's just God's gonna do with it what He's gonna do, and so far it's just been amazing.
I don't think I could have found a better group of people to play music with and to write worship songs with, because in everyone in this group, there's such a hunger for something new, and there's such a hunger for something different.
I'm just excited to just reach other people, and see our ministry, see what comes, and it's the fruit that comes out of our ministry.
I'm just excited to see what God's going to do in the future, because I know we're going to different places. I know we're planning on going, out of the country to South Africa, and I think Germany, and I think that's going to be great, because we're going to be able to, spread the gospel. But not only that, is we're going to influence others to write their music about worship, or express what they want to say to God, and express, their love for God.
I've always had a heart, to travel and do worship, and I just feel like this is going to be, something like a fun journey. Like, I'm super stoked to be able to travel and go to different churches and, kind of sing, like I said, songs that God has given us and everything like that. but not only that, to have other people like really connect with those songs as well.
In the spring and the summer, actually, we as HeartReach, we have the opportunity to go to South Africa, and we have the opportunity to go to Germany on some missions trip, do some missions work, working with churches, working in orphanages, working in refugee camps, and being able to take the ministry that God's placed on our hearts, the music, the worship, and be able to take that into a whole separate environment that we're not comfortable in, and see what God does with it. There's a lot of things that worship does. It's not just about what worship is, but it's what it does, what it creates. You know, it changes the atmosphere of the room, and it creates an environment for God to work and do things in our lives. And that is something that we, as HeartReach, have experienced as we've gone out and played and been able to worship with different churches in different places. And we've seen salvations, and we've seen people just get wrecked by God, in a good way, of course.
Worship, it's always been a go-to for me, because whenever I feel like I'm not good enough, or whenever I even feel like I've done something wrong, you know, the first thing I always do, and I always have done, is I would worship. And worship's one of those things where it changes the entire atmosphere of the room that you're in, and it changes the way you feel, you know. So it's always uplifted myself.
I'm using my, gift that He's given me and created me with for anything else. It's folly. It's not gonna, it doesn't benefit anything much until we're in the kingdom, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just build His kingdom with what He created me with.
It's not just about HeartReach doing this. It's about this happening all over the place. And I think that that's one of the things that excites me the most about HeartReach, is that we can inspire people to do exactly what we're doing. Just imagine what God could do with something like that.